In this video, I'm going to show you how simple to create AI image generator, and basically we are going to using OpenRouter to get the AI models, and then we are going to use Next.js. And basically what the idea of this project is really simple. Everything that user typing on the input field will be coming image that have origami style like this one right here, right? That's just the idea. So let's take a look how we can create that. First, of course, we need to generate the brand new Next.js application. I'm going to call that origami-AI. And I'm going to use style and CSS basically. Yes, I'm going to hit enter. Now we need to just open the folder into the Visual Studio Code. Let's first working with the UI. So I'm going to go to app/page.tsx. And here I just want to remove all the UI in here. And first I'm going to make sure this component should be client component. So I'm going to change that to the use client. Then basically I'm going to create some state in here. As you can see, it's prom value, and the result of the image, the loading state, and then the error state. Also, I create function called handle generate for generate the image, right? And inside this return, basically I'm going to return just the UI. So just copy and paste. All right, so this is the UI look like. As you can see, we have some tags in here on the top, which is the title, and this is basically the form. As you can see, we have text area, right? And then we have this button. So when I click this button, it's basically running the handle generate function that we create on the top in here, which is empty for now. And then under in here, we have if error happen, just show the error value. And if the result have a value, just render that inside the image tag in here. Just that's it. And of course, user can basically download the image by clicking this anchor link right here. So let's take a look at the result on the browser. We can running npm run dev. All the code is basically on the description, so you can always check the code in here and just follow this tutorial. As you can see, this is the UI, really simple, really clean. We just have this input and then the button. So we can typing like cute, panda, whatever, and we can click generate origami. So now what we have to do is we need to create the API route. Inside the app folder, I'm going to create folder called API and folder called generate, and then file called route.ts file. Like I said before, we are going to use OpenRouter. So let's go to docs in here, and then I'm going to install using npm. I'm going to copy that. Go to the terminal, and then we can just paste that right here. npm install openrouter/sdk. On the route.ts file, I'm going to create variable called openrouter, set equals to new openrouter, come from the openrouter/sdk, and then paste the API key. So where we get the openrouter API key. It's pretty simple. First, I'm going to create the .env file and then paste that value in here, right? The key. So now let's grab the value here. I'm going to go to OpenRouter. Make sure I log in, right? Just click the get API key in here. We can just click this create button and then typing whatever name you want, like origami, for example, and I'm gonna click create in here. Just make sure after you click that, and you have to copy the key in here, because after you close this, you cannot access the key. So great, I already copied that and paste that in here. This is my origami style. As you can see, a hyper detailed origami version of describe the subject and etc. So of course you can just copy and paste. All the code is on the description. Just don't worry about that. And in here I'm going to create the export async function, and it's going to be an post request, because user will be make a post request in this route. In this parameter, we can grab basically the request. The request have a type next request. And then inside that, I'm going to running try and then catch in here. In this try, basically, we are going to grab the prompt from the request, right? From the request user. Let's go back in here, and then we are going to make a post request in this route, so we can just see the prompt. So now I just want to console log the prompt so you can see the result. Now let's working with the client side, because in here we are going to make a post request. But first, inside this function, I'm going to check if the prompt is empty, right? If user not typing anything, it should be show this error. Great. And then after that, I just want to make sure that the set loading, it should be true, right? And also the set error null, and then set result, also make sure it should be null. And inside in here, I'm going to make a try and catch. I'm going to run this await fetch into the /API/generate, which is this route right here. And then the method is post, the header, right? And also the body. So we send the prompt in here. So that's why we can grab that in here as a console log, so we can see that on the terminal. Let's just return this next response. Just make sure import that from the next server. And as you can see, I'm running next response.json success to true. So let's try that again. Click the generate origami. Let's take a look in here. As you can see, we have this value right on the terminal. That means this is work. This is connected. In here, I'm going to check first if the prompt is empty. So I just want to run this condition in here. If the prompt is empty, just make sure you're running next response.json error, right? And the status is 400. The next thing is we need to combine this origami style with the prompt. So I just want to paste that in here. As you can see, full prompt set equals to prompt dot origami style. Here we go. And in here, basically, you can run const result set equals to await for OpenRouter. Remember, OpenRouter is come from this one right here, right? OpenRouter dot chat dot send. And then in here, we can running object, and then we can use chat generate params, and then we can specify the object. And in here, we can paste the model, what model you want to use. So let's go back to the OpenRouter, and as you can see in here, you can go to explore models, and then the output, maybe you want image, right? In this case, so just click image, and then let's take a look the most popular. I'm going to use, for example, this nano banana 2, right? Just whatever you want. And then this is the model, right? You can see the pricing, whatever, right? So let's take a look here. I'm going to copy that, and then let's just put that in here. Here we go. And then also after that, we need to specify the message. The messages, it should be have like an array, and inside that we have an object. So in here we can specify the role. It should be user. So user can basically send the content, right? The content, it should be come from the full prompt. And then down here we can paste the modalities, and then here I'm going to put an image. Now we can get the result. So I'm going to create variable called message set equals to result dot choice first array dot message. So this is the message basically. And first I'm going to check if the message dot image is empty. I'm going to return an error. So in here, as you can see, if the message dot image is empty, so I just want to return this error with status 500. But if we have the image, I'm going to create variable called image URL, right? And then I grab the image, the messages dot image first array image URL dot URL. So this is the way you get the URL of the image. And then finally, what we have to do is send the image URL into the client, right? So we are going to make that as a response in here. Image URL set equals to image URL, and the prompt set equals to full prompt. Just that's it. And if something wrong happened, let's grab the error in here, and then I'm going to make sure I just console error. Just that's it. So now we can grab the image URL on the client. Let's go back on the client, and in here, let's grab the image URL. First, of course, we need to create variable called data, wait for the response.json, right? That's what we normally do. And then if the response is not okay, just show this generation failed. And then if we have the data, the image URL, put the data.image URL into the result state. Now on the catch, what we have to do, let's put the error. So in here, I'm going to running set error. And then finally, I'm going to make sure the loading, it should be back to false. This error, it should become from the catch. So we can grab that like this. Here we go. So basically we're done. As you can see how simple to generate image, right? We can just running this and grab the URL. Just that's it. The moment of truth. So let's try to generate this a baby elephant spraying water. I'm gonna click this generate origami. As you can see, maybe it's like a 30 second. And here we go. As you can see, guys, the result is just amazing. We have this origami style, really cool, right? It's just amazing. So let's try to download the image. Just take a look the result in here. Really good, right? It's just really good. So let's try to zoom in. Let's try to generate another image. For example, a cute panda sitting on bamboo. I'm going to click generate in here, and hopefully we get the result. It's like a 30 seconds. So let's just wait for that. And as you can see, guys, the result is look like this, right? It's just amazing. We can download that. We can see that in here. Like, this is really nice. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video helpful. See you on another video.